develop you, not just being a good sportsman, but being a good man or woman to help your country. We stopped kidnappings. Kidnappings came to an end.
My very special guest this morning on the Red Couch is none other than Captain Gary Griffith, the former Commissioner of Police in Trinidad and Tobago. You know, Captain Griffith, and I hope you don't mind if I call you Gary. Is that all right?
Oh, please do.
Right. Well, you know, you're a little bit of a rock star here in Barbados. My Trinbagonian friends are always telling me that they want to borrow me a more motley. And some people have suggested that we do an exchange and we have you come up and help us out with some of our problems. So that is an indication of your own popularity and recognition here in Barbados, of the work that you have done as Commissioner of Police. So welcome to the Red Couch. This is one that I've been hoping to get for a very long time. Yesterday there was a discussion in here that I should fly down to Trinidad with a crew and do this interview the proper way rather than on Zoom. But I think Zoom allows us to do it anyhow, and maybe we'll get the opportunity in person at some time in the future. So welcome to the Red Couch.
Well, thank you very much. In fact, my wife, who's my boss, she actually told me I should come up to Barbados, and I'm going to sabotage her. I'm with her here and let her tell you a pleasant good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Lovely. Now, my first question to you is, with a name like Griffith, do you have Barbadian connections? You know, that's an obvious question.
It is. I have been asked that many times before, but no, we have not been able to find that connectivity. But I do know on my father's side, Trudy Griffith, on my father's grandmother, she was from Scotland. They came across to Trinidad and Tobago. I think he was the governor of Tobago eons ago. On my mother's side, I have a whole variety of single thing under the sun, which is why that no one could actually affiliate Gary Griffith. Just looking at myself, nobody could ever say that Gary Griffith is earmarked in one specific way. But as it pertains to Barbados, I do have a strong love for Barbados. I've been in Barbados many times, year after year, for about 15 years, playing hockey for the Trinidad and Tobago Defence Force in the Banks Hockey Festival. I have been manager of the national hockey team for several years, so we'll always take part in competitive tournaments in Barbados. And my favorite watering hole in the Caribbean was Bubba's, which is why, for some strange reason, I've decided to open something similar to that in Trinidad, now known as All Out, that many Barbadians who are involved in cricket at the Queen's Park, come to Queen's Park Oval, would be aware of.
Tell us a little bit more about Gary Griffith, the man growing up in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, sure. Many people are shocked when they see me behind a camera. They see me involved in a position. They will not understand the real Gary Griffith. I am really the most humble, simple person that you can find. I really and truly, the reason I've been involved in the military, being involved in politics, being involved in the police service is really because, unlike, politicians love making this comment to say that they care about persons and they're here to serve. I really do. The way I was brought up through my family, I was an only child. My both parents died just a few months before I was appointed as Minister of National Security. And throughout my life, I've always been in one to always fight for those persons who need that type of protection. Bullies. I hate bullying. I hate people that will take advantage of others. So I have always found myself in a position to see what I can do to defend others who need protection, defend my country. Even when I was Commissioner of Police, I fought hard to try to form the gender-based violence unit, the sexual offences unit. When I was Minister of National Security, to form the child protection unit. Children, elderly persons, women, even animals, anyone who I feel that need that type of protection or support because of those who feel that they can take advantage of others. So I've been like that throughout my life. It's strange enough, people will not be aware, but I am more, my first love is really sport.
Wonderful. Tell me a little bit about your sporting career, because I know I saw from your resume that you played hockey, you played cricket, you played a number of sports at a fairly competitive and high level.
Yeah, again, sport, to Barbados, I really hope that the Caribbean could understand that genetic endowment that we have in the Caribbean, it's second to none. If it is that we put sport as a front-burning ministry throughout the Caribbean, we will be unstoppable. You've seen it from the Olympics, from World Cup football, from cricket, even in hockey. If it is that we put the sport, and again, especially as it pertains to persons, the character traits that young persons could get from sport is not just about winning a tournament, it's leadership, it's teamwork, it's uniformity, it's tactics, it's never giving up, punctuality. All the character traits you can get in sport can develop you, not just being a good sportsman, but being a good man or woman to help your country. That's why I've always seen sport as being important.
You mentioned the involvement, the nexus between sports and indirectly crime. I remembered as a kid on Dundonald Street, at 30 Dundonald Street, I don't remember burglar bars in the house, and I remembered we would be outside as kids until all hours of the night. Crime was not a problem and so on, but you wouldn't try that now. You know, Jamaica, same situation. This feeling almost as if I have, before I decide on where I'm going, I have to decide, is it safe enough for me to go there? And so on. What do you think, why is it that we are in that kind of a situation across the region and in your own country, in Trinidad and Tobago? And what can we do to, in your view, to change that?
Oh, definitely. Very good question. It can be rectified. I proved it here in Trinidad and Tobago. Within the last 8 years, there's been a gradual escalation in crime. In my last year, however, I cracked it. Trinidad and Tobago, we cracked it. It was the highest reduction in violent crime in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. There was a 30% reduction in almost every violent crime. Sometimes we just need to embrace change. We need to accept technology. And the things that I put in place from the National Operations Center and Operational Command Center, GPS tracking on police vehicles, emergency response patrol, a high visibility, a deterrent, a rapid response unit, training the police officers to understand how to respect persons, building public trust and confidence. We started getting information through systems I put in place, app reporting, online reporting, making sure there was a degree of confidentiality, even directly to my phone, 482 Gary, where persons can give information. And the criminals didn't know where we were coming from. When I became Commissioner of Police, I formed SORT, S-O-R-T, Special Operation Response Team. That unit was a crackshot unit that was able to, they were all heavily polygraphed monthly. We stopped kidnappings. Kidnappings came to an end. The kidnappers did not understand what it is and how it is that they were kidnapping persons. And it's the first time we were able to not just pay ransom, but target the individuals, raid the places, seize the, secure the kidnapped victim and apprehend the kidnappers. They could not understand it.
I remember there was a period where I believe there were some underworld figures that were threatening you and essentially saying they're going to take you out. And you pretty much said, well, bring it on, come. I am ready. I mean, that takes a lot of cojones to be able to do, and you have to be able to back it up in the event that it happens. Is that a real threat when you're in a position like yours?
It will only be if you decide to step on toes. And stepping on toes is not just based on the individuals with their pants hanging below their waistline, wearing a white vest and being known as a gang member. I was also stepping on toes of some big businessmen, those in three-piece suits that sometimes maybe even me in Parliament. And by me doing that, going off, when I formed the white collar crime unit, bringing together the cyber crime unit, the anti-corruption intelligence bureau, the financial investigative unit, with all of these units working together, we started putting the pieces and started finding ways to deal with those persons involved in white collar crime. Because you've got to take risks, but you've got to stay there and make sure that you're not seen as a loose cannon. And that is the type of leadership that we need throughout the Caribbean. Someone that your prime minister is definitely an ODI prime minister. And that is what we need. We don't need wild cards, but we certainly don't need people that will just stay in the crease for the whole day.
I have one final question I want to ask, and that is, when Gary Griffith is not dealing with national security issues and national issues and the political issues and representation and so on, what are you doing as your relaxation, your pastime? What are the things that you do to when you're chilling?
Straight up sport, mostly sport, and being involved heavily with my family. My daughter One is abroad, the other works with me. My son, again, because he's heavily involved in football, he and I, every weekend for the last 7 years, we sit down and we want to hit the television when Manchester United fail again and hope that one day they will rise. So we spend a lot of time with my family as much as possible going on the islands. It is very limited, but I always say 24 hours in a day is a lot. If it is that you just put all of your time trying to work, and you can lose your family, it can affect your health. So that is the one thing that keeps me calm, keeps me controlled, and keeps me being prepared to take on another day.
Well, Gary Griffith, thank you very much for your time this morning. I want to thank Mrs. Griffith for allowing you also the freedom to spend this amount of time with us. It's been a fascinating interview here today, and I know my audience will very much enjoy it. And I will hold you to the promise that when you come to Barbados, you will give us a look in and an opportunity to chat once again.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.